Good morning, everyone. Wholesale Sharks is live from the Dispo Shark studio. It's once again your boy Chris. Joining me today, guys, it's a pleasure to present two very young but yet very talented individuals. Recently moved out from Washington and are doing big things here in Arizona. Without further ado, Orlando and Tate. Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for inviting us out, first of all.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure. Tell us, guys, how you guys doing, man? You guys are doing great stuff.
We're doing great, man. Like you said, we came down from Washington. We got down here in early October. Just kind of working, getting our foot in the door type of thing, finding more buyers to work with.
Right.
And actually, it was the one that just popped for me this last week was 2 deals from my first ever lead that I actually called up in Washington.
Boom. Talk to me about it. How did that go?
So it was, just some data that a family friend of mine gave to me. It was actually Tino Luna that you had last week.
Shout out Tino, by the way.
Shout out Tino.
For sure.
When I was up in Washington, my brother-in-law is actually friends with him from high school. So he was helping us with a little data, helping us get some of our first calls done. And nothing ended up popping up with this guy until this last week, actually, about 6 months calling here and there, just kind of saying what's up, To me, it's just kind of seemed like the most important thing was just staying his friend, just being friendly and being there when he needed it.
It really does come down to that, though, right? Am I right? Like, it really does come down to who you know, what connections you have. This business is all about, your network, right? So, kudos to you guys for being so young and yet, having so many, so many strings that, that you're able to pull. So tell me, guys, what were you guys doing before real estate? What's your guys' story, man?
Yeah, so we were actually both doing construction gigs before we got into real estate. And, so we knew each other were hard workers. I always knew he was more focused on the interior, doing framing and everything, and remodels, bathrooms. I was more of the concrete guy doing rebar. But I just brought it up one day, and I started talking about wholesaling, and I was just diving into it. I think I actually got the spark on TikTok. I was watching King Kong, if you've heard of that guy. Yeah. But I was listening to his TikToks one day, heard about wholesaling, was like, oh, I think I can do that.
That's something I can do.
Yeah. You learn more, your confidence builds, you start talking about it. He overheard me talking about it. And then we just decided, let's crank some calls together. Let's see what happens. The first call we ended up actually cranking out, was actually that lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
That popped a couple days ago and gave him the 2 deals. Awesome. But it's just crazy to think, fast forward 6-8 months, you're doing your first cold call, you're talking to your first guy, and then here you go, you're getting a deal.
So from you guys leaving your construction job to now real estate, how long have you guys been in real estate for now?
We got here in early October, so it's been 6-7 months now. Yeah.
That's crazy though. Like 6-7 months and you're already doing big boy deals, man. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really goes to show that as long as you have the right connections in play,
exactly,
you're able to accomplish so much within this business. It's amazing.
Genuinely. Yeah.
So guys, I'm curious to know. So obviously, like I said, you guys are fairly young. What's your guys' morning routine like? What do you guys do? You guys wake up in the morning? You guys knock out some calls? Tell me about it.
So when I wake up, I've been doing a lot of agent outreach. I've been focusing on that heavy.
Okay.
And, there's a VIP list of agents that I like to reach out to in the morning just to check to see if they got anything new, if they had anything coming up that we talked about, just to, go back over and see. So I definitely reach out to the agents that are on my VIP list. That's the first thing I do in the morning.
Awesome. What about you, Tate?
Well, yeah, we've done a lot of agents, kind of a lot of here and there. We just kind of learning what works best for us in these first 6 months. So me personally, I kind of start with some of the old Podio stuff that we have built up, kind of like, this guy that just popped, from 6 months ago, and just kind of, get up with all the follow-ups, see how everyone's doing. And then once I've kind of gone through all my old stuff that I need to touch back with, then I'll do the agent outreach with them also.
So would you say that's where you're getting most of your business right now is through like cold calling? Or are you guys doing are you not driving for dollars, knocking doors? What
So, like you said, we had a connection to meet Tino when we came down here. Tino Luna, shout out Tino. And I actually, Tino had us hopping on the MLS, looking at deals that way. I came across one deal. I ended up, calling the listing agent. The listing agent ended up being the owner of the property, so it was like a direct to seller call, basically. And that ended up being my first deal. So we got that done with Tino, and we were like, let's go out, let's do our own thing, let's get this started, let's get some buyers under our belt.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm curious, guys. Obviously, you guys are working together. How did that come to be? Like, I mean, are you guys friends from like back in the day, or how did that end up happening?
Yeah, we started being friends back in the very beginning of high school.
High school. Okay.
Yeah, had the same English class. And,
okay, cool.
Just both could tell each other we're hustlers, so decided to hustle together.
Hey, it takes one to know one, right? As soon as you know, hey, this guy has an ambition. That's kind of the people that you want to squad up with, and that's amazing. You guys took that initiative, guys. So, what would you say makes you guys different than any other wholesaler, for lack of a better term? I mean, what stands you guys apart from everybody else, do you guys think?
I think the main thing we focus on is just solving problems. At the end of the day, if you can really help people out and you can solve their problems, everybody's going to be happy. Mm-hmm. You really got to dig deep, find out what that seller's looking for, find out what that seller needs, find out their pain, their hurt, and just try to help them through that, because a lot of these people, selling your house isn't an easy process. It's true. Not. It can be a very long process.
Emotional, not to mention.
And emotional, some of these sellers might have lived in this house for 16, 20 years, right?
Exactly.
So it's not something, it's a big transition to make, sometimes the biggest transition you make in your entire life.
I agree completely. Guys, obviously, you guys are doing big things. What would you guys say would be one of the biggest sacrifices that you guys had to do in order to get you guys where you're at right now?
Oh, man, I'd say easily the biggest sacrifice for me personally. I have a lot of family back in Washington. Mm-hmm. So when I moved, I knew I wasn't going to be spending any time with them in person anymore. I was going to be really focused on work. I was going to be grinding here, getting into real estate, getting, being boots on the ground everywhere I could. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that was the big sacrifice, was just not having the immediate access to go hang out with my family whenever I wanted.
So is your family still out in Washington?
Yep.
Then? Okay, gotcha. Tate, what about you, man?
Yeah, my family's a little all around, but I have lots of friends and some families still in Washington, so that was definitely a big jump. And kind of course, just getting here, it's always scary. You don't know a soul out here really. I had Tino pretty much that was about it when we moved out here, and
that's what I was going to ask you next.
There's a will, there's a way. That's always what it comes down to.
And that's actually what I was going to ask you guys next. Is besides obviously the obvious weather change, how are you guys adapting to Arizona, man? I mean, what do you guys like? What do you guys hate? And talk to me about it.
Yeah, I haven't experienced the summer yet, but the winter has been perfect. Maybe
you're in for a treat, buddy.
Yeah. In my perfect mind, maybe we'd be able to, snowbird, go back up to Washington in the summer, enjoy the winters down here. But we'll see how I survive the
I tell you what, you have to experience it. You have to experience it. Just don't run away as soon as you do. It gets brutal. It gets brutal. But you know what? I've had people where I've talked to people that come from very cold places and they end up staying here and they love it, right? So Arizona's kind of one of those places where you either fall in love with it or you hate it. So welcome to Arizona, guys. It's amazing that you guys are here, guys. So changing the subject a little bit, obviously you guys are fairly young, and you guys, we were talking about it a little bit off the air here, about social media, how social media is such a big factor when it comes to the business that we're in. What are you guys' take on social media? Do you guys find it positive? Is there negativity in it? I'm curious to know what you guys think about it.
I think social media is all what you take out from it. There's a ton of negative stuff to focus on social media, that all day you can focus on the negative stuff. But if you're constantly selecting, picking and pulling the things, there's a lot to be learned on social media. And so if you're just putting yourself in front of, following the right accounts, just building information, then I don't think there's any negatives you can really take from it.
So Orlando, when you say following the right accounts, elaborate a little bit on that. You mean follow, people that you strive to be like? Explain to me.
I always try to be, follow people with similar interests than me.
Okay.
A lot of things is I have to be able to have similar ideologies as the person. I follow a lot of wholesale because I'm into wholesale. I follow a lot of soccer channels because I'm into soccer. It's really just what you want, but you can focus on all the bad stuff on the news, or you can focus on all the good, right?
What about negative things about social media? I know that a lot of times when I ask this question to my guests, one of the biggest things as far as negative against social media is the publicity, the negative publicity, or the fake publicity, if you want to put it that way. People mimic something that might not be real, or an image that might not be 100% genuine, right? Yeah. So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think as far as people striving to be somebody that in reality it might not be?
I kind of honestly just see it as any other tool. Honestly, there's a million different ways you can use it. It's just kind of like you said, a matter of what direction you want to take that.
For sure.
And if you're And kind of similar to a lot of people say, you turn into the 5 people you're around most. If, maybe only follow 50 people on Instagram. And if those are, your idols, then you're going to turn more and more like those people every day. The more you hear them, the more you hear the way they think and, the way they go about every situation, it kind of, kind of helps you. A battle I've kind of hit coming in here is a lot of analysis paralysis for sure. So the social media and hearing how other people just, make their decisions when big things pop up, honestly, has been a huge help for me in this business.
Sure. No, I love it, guys. So I'll put you in the spot here a little bit. 3 words individually that would describe you as a person or as a professional, and why? Go ahead, Orlando.
Okay. I'm going to start off. Okay. Put me on the spot. All right.
I told you I would.
I'm going to start off with genuine. I like to be very genuine. When I have a conversation with somebody on the phone, even if it's a seller, I talk to them like how I would talk to you. I talk to them like I would talk to my best friend. Obviously, there's a level of professionalism that you have to keep to. But at the end of the day, I'm myself, and that's a big part. So genuine is on the list.
Okay.
Integrity.
Okay.
Integrity.
That's a good one.
Integrity is a big one. Actually, when I thought about opening an LLC, I was going to open Integrity Investments.
Okay.
Because that's like, there's a lot of people in this business that don't lack integrity.
Oh man. Oh man.
And I'm not here to name any names, but
shout out to the snakes.
Yeah, shout out.
I'm kidding.
Exactly.
Totally kidding.
So
but if you are, don't be.
And if you keep it genuine and if you keep your integrity, then that's the only thing that's going to come back to you.
Right.
So genuine, integrity, and I'd say relentless. Yeah, like even this guy's relentless. He called Stephen Germain every couple weeks. That's why we ended up getting. So you guys can possibly
share that one. Yeah.
We're going to be doing the remodel together. We're going to be doing a lot of work together. But
awesome. Yeah. Hopefully, when you guys are done with the remodel, you guys can consider us. Right?
Dispo help. Absolutely,
no, of course not. We're always here to help. Yeah. What about you, Tate? 3 words.
Honestly, anyone in this business probably wants to say they're ambitious. That's why you want to get into it. You want to, get it going. But definitely what I've learned to be more is just present, like with that one lead that we had, the biggest deal is just being there, because a lot of these sellers are older, maybe less adept to their phones also.
For sure.
So, they're probably not going to pick up their phone and call you out of the blue. So you got to make sure, to be that guy since you're younger and more used to it. You got to, be present with them. And I agree with genuine too, you just got to be a good person, That's what it always comes down to. Good person, good business.
You have to have a kind heart, I think, right?
Yeah.
You have to have your heart in the right place and your mind in the right place, of course.
Yeah.
Guys, so before we wrap up, guys. Where can our followers follow you guys? Are you guys on IG, Facebook? Go ahead and tuck it into this camera right here.
So you guys can follow me on Instagram at the name is Lando, and that'll be Landos Nieto on Facebook. So you guys can go ahead and give me a follow. I post a lot of real estate stuff. I'm always posting these guys' posts, so check out their events too.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm on pretty much every social media, IG, all of it, and just Tate Christensen, which is spelled Tate Christensen.
Perfect. Yeah. There you have it, guys. Any closing remarks, guys, for our viewers?
I just want to say thank you for inviting us on one more time. I know this was spontaneous. This was out of nowhere, and
so it always ends up being the best, though. Again, going back to being genuine, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much once again for taking the time to be on our podcast. And for the viewers at home, guys, we put these podcasts on to educate our community, show some value, and hopefully empower people that are looking to start, their real estate career. Once again, this is your boy Chris. We are out. We'll see you in the next one.